Marvin stared at the mirror. The crack that ran down the center of the glass pulsed faintly, as though something behind it was breathing, waiting. He tried to convince himself it was all a dream. He even packed his bags that morning, telling himself he'd just head back to the city, but something called to him. Every time he reached for the front door, an invisible weight pulled him back toward the hallway. By nightfall, the sun dipped beneath the trees, casting long shadows across the cottage floor. And again, the moonlight returned, pouring through the window, casting silver across the mirror's veiled surface. Marvin poured himself a glass of whiskey with shaking hands. Then, without knowing why, he removed the sheet. The crack had vanished. Instead, the reflection stood clearer than ever. Too clear. The house behind the mirror looked exactly like his, but off somehow. The walls were darker, the shadows too deep, and his reflection, it was waiting, still smiling, still watching. Then it lifted its hand slowly, deliberately, and began to knock. Tap, tap, tap. And this time Marvin's knuckles began to sting, like he had been the one knocking. He recoiled in horror, stumbling backward, nearly dropping his glass. That night he dreamt of a dark hallway, endless and silent, lit by nothing but moonlight. His reflection followed him through it, mirroring every step, but with no feet, just the sound of glass cracking softly beneath each movement. When Marvin woke up, the mirror was gone. He found it in the basement, standing upright against the stone wall where no one had placed it. A note was taped to the top of the frame. In old handwriting, faded with time, it read, "Don't break it, don't turn to face yourself in the dark, it remembers you. It learns." He stepped back, heart thundering, then he saw his reflection again, but it wasn't standing anymore, it was crawling upside down. Marvin screamed and bolted upstairs, barricading the basement door with furniture. He called a priest from the nearby parish, desperate for help. The priest came the next morning, an old man with weary eyes. He stepped into the house, paused at the threshold and said, "It's awake!" He refused to touch the mirror, but gave Marvin one final warning. "If it speaks, do not answer. It wants to know your voice. That's how it crosses." That night Marvin sat in silence with every light on. At 3 a.m., the power went out. The mirror began to whisper,